Hi, I'm Peter Walford. Welcome back. We're going to look at another project that takes place on Hornby Island here regularly. We have a little caravan, my wife Robin and I.
Hi there.
And we have children and guests and woofers and various people in this space and have so for 20 years, I guess.
This video is sponsored by Bioptimizers. Go to magnesiumbreakthrough.com/FLORB and get a 10% discount when you use coupon code FLORB10 at checkout.
33 years ago, Peter and I had just recently become a couple and we were looking for a new place to be. I rode by here and it was in the sun in a November afternoon and I thought, oh, sun, November.
The only sunbeam in November was here.
It really was the ugliest place on Hornby Island, but that didn't put us off and away we went and just worked away for many years, just thinking about this change and that change and what could we do and planting and before we knew it, we had raised our family and now we're on our own.
My daughter had been going to French immersion school in Vancouver, living with her mother, and she wanted to come over here. It seemed like she didn't really have a place to call her sort of own. I felt I wanted to do that for her, you know. I talked to quite a few other caravan builders before I started this. And we got some pizza boxes and made a scale model and did a mock-up in the garage. That was the start, and then built the whole caravan from there. It was a relatively quick project. I started it Labor Day, I think, and it was lock-up by November. It took another year to get it more properly finished, but basically the shell went up really fast. Gradually, step by step, the thing sort of evolves. If I was to do this again, it would probably cost about $15,000. We built the deck, kind of argued about it for, 3 years about how to do it. And finally, it became apparent that we just had to start it. So the finish on this deck is Cetol. There's a saturating oil and then there's a finish oil. As far as I can see, it's the only thing that lasts in this environment. Put down some foundations, and underneath we dug a hole the size of a laundry tub and put in red wrigglers and a bunch of rich soil and ran the sink out to that. And that sufficed for 7 or 8 years. It finally backed up at the sink, so we dug that out, put about an 8-foot weeper system with a perforated pipe and also a clean-out tank that has a removable lid. And you can get in there if it builds up with solids, whatever, you can clean that out. The moisture was being sucked up by these trees. So the trees are really the septic system. The water has to go somewhere, and the tree is a useful way for it to be used. The regulation is you have to be under a 14-foot floor. So the highest most point of the caravan would go under the hydro lines. It's 20 feet long. I wanted to make it multiples of 4 feet, so it's 5 sheets of plywood. I didn't want to cut the plywood, so it's just 8 feet wide. It's all put together with construction adhesive and spiral nails. So if you don't use both of those things, you'll have a creaky floor. And then the outside was kind of plain for a while. I mean, the metal idea for siding is practical, but I don't think it would have much feel. You kind of set up a table and you size your shakes. You start at the bottom and you start building it and you just kind of make it a texture thing. It's so intuitive that once you get going, you hardly have to think. It's like, oh, put the wrong size in, we just tear it out and put the next one, you know. I never did finish the soffit detail. It's all well ventilated, but you have the odd swallow will set up house there. In a lot of the caravans you see here, the roof is actually done gypsy style with a curve to it. I attempted to achieve the same look just by having a double cant. It generates that same feeling of roundness to the inside. Around the corner here we have the outdoor shower. Deck all the way over here, and then of course it became apparent you needed a rail. And then we improved the shower. I want to draw your attention to the spray head. I got some of this copper pipe and we squeezed the end shut. And then I took my little dental drills and made holes every inch. I just felt like doing something a little different, a little homemade touch. Not too long afterwards, we put this little rail up here, and then they have some privacy, and we just had an old piece of lattice work we hung to the building in here and then put a core sail in behind, and that's the shower. So this is a composting toilet. The reason we went for this design is because we wanted to have it separate from the living quarters to give a big enough chamber so that it wouldn't need a lot of service on our part. When one side gets full, you close it off, and then you work on the other side for a while. After a year, you take out the side that's rested, and you can feed the garden with it. It's got a passive ventilation design, which didn't prove to be enough. You know, I made a longer stack, which is, you can see it way up there. And what looks like a birdhouse on the top is actually a household fan turned on its side. and it runs all the time. If I wanted to make it a little more efficient, I would paint that top part black. But it's not a good conductor, it's plastic. So again, ideally this should be metal. I couldn't find any metal. This is what we had. This piece of stained glass, it was the window in my dental office in Cumberland. And then when I closed that down, I took this with me. And we're just sitting around and Robin said, oh, let's put that window in. And then we thought, well, let's get some more light in here. The light really seems to work in a small space. The glass covering here is 3 panels of that you normally see in a patio door. There are houses all over Hornby that are built with them. It's tempered. If you hit it dead on with a sledgehammer, it will not break. So we felt safe enough using it.
Hi there, welcome to Vista Caravan. This is our groovy Dutch door, and this was built by my amazing husband, and last year I took it apart and sanded it and recovered it. So this is our little galley. Lots of opening windows, which is really nice if you're cooking in such a small space. We have this cute little space saver hot water tank, and that is enough for a good 15-minute shower, plus all the dishes and anything else that you might be needing to wash up. So it's so reasonable, hydro-wise, and all of the, I think our hydro bill's like, what, 50, 60? We got this little stove from the air base, and it works just as any bigger stove would and gets used lots. We have a little half fridge, and really it's all you ever need. It's just perfect. We have our composting area, and we recycle everything that we can, and up here we have all our dishes and pots and pans and various things that you might want. We like all the curves. This was all Peter, these curvy little bits. It does make it feel like 2 different rooms. You've got your little galley and you've got your little living room. So in here we have our little wood stove. It works just great. It's small, but you can get a nice little fire going in there, and keeps you warm and cozy on those damp days. This is done by one of our local artists. They have these beautiful rubber stamps, and they stamp it into the wet concrete. This is a really handy little situation here. These tables, you pull them out and then you can add a leaf or fold it up really, really tiny. It can get right out of the way. We have a baseboard heater here. For those really cold nights, you can give yourself a little extra blast of heat, which is pretty nice sometimes. I have a rocking chair in here. Sit by the fire or sit by the window and have a little relax. And then it's just a conventional dresser that we put extra pillows and towels and all that kind of thing in. Queen size bed, it's as comfortable as can be. This little opening window has the kind of obscured glass, which makes it nice and private because there is a road behind. We have a variety of books here, and people just love them. Sometimes they come and they say, oh, can I borrow that one? I haven't quite finished it yet. Of course, the bookshelf had to be slanted with the wall, and I guess you notice it, but it doesn't, being white and all, it kind of just blends in, so it doesn't ever bother anybody. And I think it probably, if we had an earthquake or something, our books would probably stay in place. These lights are cool. They were made by a friend of ours, and they give a lot of light, but they're just sort of a rice paper and cedar. These are one of those old leaded glass windows from the old house in Vancouver, hey? The art is all local art from friends of ours on Hornby that have traded for dental work over the years, so it's all special to us. But people do use this for their clothing, and it helps them to keep themselves organized when they're in this tiny place. We have a beautiful little loft, and this ladder here just comes right down. And then you can put her down. And there's a really comfortable little bed up here. Opening windows again. This stained glass window was designed by Peter's daughter Erin, who the Caravan was built for. So it was pretty special for her up here. It's a little bit hard to make the bed upstairs. I curse it from time to time, but it's super comfy. And these little windows over here open up. And when the birds are singing in the morning and evening, it's just a really nice place to be. There's this little skylight over your head, so there's lots of ventilation in here, and that's so important. You really want to have good airflow when you're in a small space. There are some fabulous ideas as to how to create a space that
Yeah.
is really unique to what you like and what
Yeah,
you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. Research the small home thing. It's not just a large home scale down. You have to think, quite carefully about where everything's going to go. Per square foot, you would think it would get easier and cheaper, but it's not, because you have all the same functions as a house. They're just smaller and there's less of them.
But it certainly is the rage right now. I think we've gotten ourselves into this idea that we need so much in this society, and when you get right down to it, you don't need as much as you think. And the tiny home proves that over and over again. You may not want 4 kids in there, but for a couple, you can live very comfortably. In terms of a building that's stable and has so little upkeep and just fantastic accommodations for so little amount of space, it's amazing how little you actually need. Yeah.
What's the #1 mineral to beat stress, fatigue, and get better sleep? It's magnesium, but not just any magnesium. This is Magnesium Breakthrough from Bioptimizers. It blends all 7 essential forms of magnesium into one effective supplement so that you can relax more, stress less, sleep deeper, and experience more peace throughout your day. Most magnesium supplements fail because they're synthetic or use preservatives, but when you have these 7 essential forms of magnesium combined together, you get all of the benefits, and your body gets a serious upgrade from your brain, pain and inflammation, and muscle tension. With this one simple action, you can reverse magnesium deficiency in all of its forms and start feeling the benefits quickly. So go to magnesiumbreakthrough.com/FLORB and use offer code FLORB10 at checkout for a 10% discount. And even better yet, Bioptimizers is offering some free bottles of their most popular products, P30M and Mass enzymes, with select purchases. So check out the link in the description or the top pinned comment and get yourself a free product and a discount today. Thank you for watching and have a great week.